is 3,000. Put like the priority bills. Importance of having an emergency fund. So many medical bills that start. Hello my friends. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. I am so happy to have you here for another budget with me video. We're going to be doing our budget for the month of September. If you are new, hello friends. My name is Delia Mireya. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that you are all having a lovely, blessed day. On my channel, you're going to find all cash stuffing videos. I am in quite a bit of debt. I mean, not a little bit. It's a lot of it. That's what I call it. A lot of it. On my channel, I share with you all cash stuffing videos, DIYs of things I am making that help me stay a bit more organized for my cash stuffings. I'm on a journey to being debt free. I had been budgeting for about 2 years. That's when I decided to share my videos with you all because everything was working well until I got to January when I started sharing these videos with you all. Just things started happening. I had to go to the doctor and I have a very high deductible, so I had so many medical bills that started to come in besides credit card debt that I had, and all these medical bills started to pile up. Instead of everything going perfectly fine for me to be able to save money, my debt started growing. This is the way things have been for me. In the beginning of the year, I was sad because we weren't making it enough. Like, we didn't have a lot of money to pay everything that we had to pay. So I started praying, and that's when I had applied for a job months earlier. One morning when I woke up, I was feeling sad. I'm like, this is too much. That's when I felt God's presence telling me that everything was going to be fine. Fast forward through time, I got this job. I was able to help pay off some of the debt. Now we still have a high debt, but it's not as high as it was before and since the beginning of the year. So that really helped out, that little small job that I had. It was a full-time job for just like a seasonal job. It was just for a couple months. That's the story of what's been going on in my life. And now I'm trying to get into this job, but it's been taking a while, friends. It's always either one thing or another. I was set up for this interview. The person I was supposed to meet, she wasn't there for like 3 days, so then I emailed her. So it's been a process for me to get into this job, and I don't want to share too much about it. I will in the future if I do end up getting this job. Today I got an email saying that they're working on it. It's a process to get into this job where I want to work. This morning I said, Jesus, I leave this in your hands. If this is the way for me, if you think that this job is going to lead me into a good path, if this is for your glory, then you will open doors for me. And if not, it's totally fine. Sometimes we just have to accept God's will, and it's going to make me emotional. I'm sorry, friends. I just didn't want it to get to this point because it's been hard. It really has. Sorry, friends. I always want to encourage you all that it's going to be possible. Like, I want to cheer you on that if you are in debt, you're going to get through it. And I know that I did pay off some of my debt with this job. It's been a little bit hard because I spent my emergency fund. I spent it. I'm so glad that I had this emergency fund. Sorry if I'm making this long, but I'm just sharing my journey and the process of everything that we've been through. Emergency fund that I had in this envelope, I had some pain in my molar and I had to have a root canal. So I'm so glad that we had this money saved aside for a root canal. And then that money went away, and then I started saving a little bit more, and then just I had to pay it for other bills, for other things that were coming up. And then I also had to use some of that emergency fund that I was saving because I had to pay some medical bills, and then they were pressuring me. If not, I was going to get sent to collection. So I had to use my credit card. I no longer had a emergency savings fund. And I know my friend that I worked with, and a lot of you all have told me the importance of having an emergency fund. And I know Dave Ramsey mentions it as well. You have to have an emergency fund. So I had to take money out from another envelope that I had, which was like a sinking fund. I will talk to you more about that because two things came up. And still, my finger, I hurt my finger playing ball. And then I haven't been able to bend it as well, so I'm going to go to the doctor's today. Then that's money that I have to take out from this other envelope, which that money is set to pay something else, but I'm gonna have to get money from there. But I don't have an emergency fund. Like, I had very little money, and then our groceries just went up with cost of living. Everything has just piled up, and I think that's what got me a little bit emotional this morning, just thinking about everything that's been going on. So this finger here, it no longer is bruised, but I can't bend it all the way. So whenever I'm doing things, I told my husband my finger's getting used to not bending all the way, and I'm hoping it's not broken or anything like that, because my knuckles, if you can see, like, these knuckles go all the way in, but this one is kind of like lifted up. I don't know if you guys can tell. So I'm gonna go get my finger checked today. Let me get some lotion, because my hands are a little bit ashy. They need the lotion. Oh, and one more thing that happened, but I think I'm gonna talk more about that whenever I do my cash stuffing. We had to take more money out because my son got sick. We have a very high deductible, and I will talk to you more about that whenever I'm doing the cash stuffing. But I don't know, I just wanted to mention that with you all, since I am sharing my journey for all of you that are new. I just wanted to share with you all what's been going on since the beginning of our budgeting, since we started doing the budgeting. Okay, now that I have some lotion on, and that smells so good, that's lavender. This is supposed to be like relaxing. It's dry hand relief. As I mentioned, these budgeting sheets that I have here, I downloaded them, and these were a free download. I think you have to be subscribed to the Budget Mom in order to get these. If I can leave you the exact link, I will give you all of that information in the description box. So I have a couple of forms that I'm going to be filling out today. I also made a really cute budgeting sheet, but I'm still working on it. It's in the process. Once I get it finished, I think I'm going to be putting it on my Etsy shop. And I'd like to take the time right now to thank each and every one of you all that have made a purchase on my little shop. That's also been helping a lot. I know I'm not making a lot of money on there, but the money that I am making, that money is going to go to my supplies. I had been spending like months prior on supplies, or I've had to buy more of the Cricut vinyl. So yeah, that's what's been going on. I'm going to be using my pins, and I know that every time I use these, I have questions on where I bought these. You can find these at Target or Walmart, and it's not the same exact ones because I bought these years ago, but it's something similar. I do have a link, which I am not affiliated with, but I have a link in the description. These are markers that you can use for your planners because they don't bleed through. So I'm going to start off by writing the dates for my September calendar. And I think I'm going to use orange since we are the month of September. Friends, the battery was low, so I had to change the battery. I'm going to write the month of September. Okay, what are we missing? I mostly put like the priority bills on here. I didn't put the sinking funds. Maybe I could add the sinking funds with another color. I'm going to highlight the priority or fixed expenses in pink. On this fixed expenses sheet, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down the list of all of the fixed expenses. Now that we have all of our fixed expenses, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add everything up. Now, I want to mention to you all, if you are new to my channel, that some of these expenses I have rounded to the nearest dollar, or for example, our mortgages, I think it's like $886. So I always like to budget $900 because I paid like $15 or the remainder of that to Printable, which is not a lot, but it's something. So that's what I do there. And then internet is $66, cell phone as well. I think this is like $118 and some change. Now the $2 remainder, I always budget $120. Some of the things are not the exact amount, but I do budget a little bit more. See, another example is electricity. Our electricity bill has been like $198, but then these last 2 or 3 months was like $213 or so-ish. Whenever our electric bill is $180, that little extra cash I have left over for when the bill is a little bit higher. Car loan as well, I think it's like $448. I'm not sure about the exact amounts, but I have always paid $450. So that little bit, I think it counts just to help out a little bit with the principal. So I'm going to be adding up all the amounts and putting the total down here. That's 900 plus 66 plus 120 plus 50 plus 40 plus 200 plus 40 plus 450 plus 120 plus 50 plus 480 plus 160 plus 80 equals, it's kind of hard for me to open up my marker because I don't have a lot of strength in that finger. So that is going to be 2,756. Now I still need to add the rest of my expenses, which are the variable expenses. So we'll move on to that form in a little bit. Variable expenses, I won't be adding too many in here. I'm trying to keep like the sinking funds or some of the costs that are not necessary. I'm trying to keep them to a minimum. Like I don't want to put money there, so I'd rather add more money into my emergency fund. I know that it's so much worth having an emergency fund. I decided to pay off some of my debt, like the credit card and then small little debt that I had, instead of putting money into an emergency fund. I know that the best thing would have been to keep those payments to a minimum and put a little bit more towards an emergency fund, because we did have a couple emergencies that happened this past week, and I don't want to use my credit card, so it was almost pushing it to where I had to use my credit card. But I had to get money from other envelopes that I had, which I'll explain more of that in my cash stuffing. I'm going to be writing my fixed expenses, so let me tell you something that happened real quick while I'm doing that. If you have been watching my content, I shared with you all that we were in a hit and run, right? My husband parked his car, and then when he got out from my mother-in-law's house, he noticed that our car had been hit. We tried to investigate, but there was nothing that could have been done. If we would have gone through our insurance, we had a $1,000 deductible that we had to pay. Long story short, the car ended up getting fixed. We paid for the repairs for that. So that's something that happened. And then 2 weeks ago, when my husband and I, we went to the bank to pay our car loan, my husband got off and paid the car. Something that happened was there was an very older gentleman that parked next to us to the right side, and I was the passenger, so I'm sitting there just looking at my phone when he slams his door onto my vehicle. I didn't know what to say, friends. This was a very older gentleman. He had a cane and he was having so much trouble to get off his vehicle. So what I did is I rolled down my window and I told him, "Sir, you hit my door." And I don't know, he was mumbling something. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't even know what he said." So what I did was I held on to his door. He didn't put his door back in place. Like, he needed to open the whole door to get out. So I was trying to hold his door that way it wouldn't keep hitting our door. So let me know in the comments below, what would you have done? Would you have? I don't know what to do in this situation. I just felt bad for this gentleman that he hit our door. I mean, the damages was just like a small scratch. It wasn't nothing too big. When my husband came back, I told him, "Oh, guess what? We got hit again. This time it was on the other side." But he's like, "So what did you do?" I'm like, "I didn't tell him anything. I just felt so bad for this poor little old guy." So I don't know. Let me know what you would have done. What we learned from this is not to park too close anymore. I mean, just park as far as you can. That way you can avoid these types of situations. So let me keep filling this in, and then we will get back with explaining on what's going to be done in all of this. Okay, now car insurance. I consider this a sinking fund because I'm trying to save up as much money as I can to pay it for the whole year. This is not a variable expense, but I guess you could consider it variable because sometimes if I have extra money, I try to cash stuff a little bit more there. And if I don't have enough money, I don't stuff as much, which I've been having to take money out of there for other things that have been going on. But for now, I'm just going to put it in here since I already filled this out for fixed expenses. Since it's not a bill that we have to pay like right now, it's just that I'm trying to save up money to pay it towards the end of the year. I'm going to add up these totals. That should be 80 plus 23 plus 15 plus 50 plus $60.92 plus 50 plus 50. That is $328.92. That's the total there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add that total with the other total, that's the fixed expenses. I'm going to add these two plus 2756 equals, so the total is $3,084.92. I'm going to divide that by 2 because normally my husband gets paid bi-weekly. I'm not working right now, so he gets paid bi-weekly. So I have to split all these bills. I have to split in those 2 paychecks. I know this month of September there's 3 paychecks, but I think it's kind of tricky for me. I don't consider it 3 paychecks because normally the last paycheck you have to pay the first bills of the next month. So I don't even consider it like, oh yay, I have an extra paycheck. I don't know about you friends, but I do not. So I'm going to divide this by 2. So divide by 2 equals, divided by 2, 1,542. Final worksheet, the budget paycheck tracker. I'm going to have to get back to you all since I have my appointment to go and get my finger checked. So wish me luck, friends. Prayers that everything goes well. I don't know, I hope I get good news. So I will be right back with you all. And I hope it's not like swollen or anything like that. I don't know. I'll see you guys in a bit.